Well, it's time to delve even deeper into our rabbit hole that we are burrowing for ourselves. Welcome to break down 6 epic matches on the docket for tonight's episode. All vying around titles. It's going to be fun. It's going to be epic. Strap on in. We're in for that one bumpy road that we always seem to be traveling down. But you know it. You'd love it. Let's get into it. Well, it's time to kick off this show like it is a rampaging bull down the street. That is called a metaphor. And this is one half of the meta 2. Lash Legend in action.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing Meta 4 from Atlanta, Georgia, Lash Legend.
Last week on Breakdown, Lash secured a big victory over big-time Becky Lynch, the Resolution case holder. Now Lash looking to ride that momentum like a tidal wave into tonight's performance. And I've been told that this is a step up in competition for Lash, which, let's be honest, if you think Becky is high in terms of competition, Lash, you've got another level to climb up to. As the wubs begin, it's time for the genius of the sky to crush a legend.
Your opponent, representing Damage Control from Tokyo, Japan, Io
Sky, we have seen countless times here in IPW securing big, epic victories. Tonight, going up against Lash Legend isn't really a step up in competition for her. This is more of a proving match for Lash. But Io needs to keep the momentum high. Needs to look to get back into the title picture. Something she has been out of here on Breakdown since the roster split. And you have to feel Liv Morgan could have eyes on this one. Can Lash do the double? 2 weeks on the trot, beating main event talent. Let's get underway with our opening bout of the evening, and Lash immediately caught, rolled up. Io trying to get an early victory. Nets a 1 count, and yet last week it was very much an impressive showing from Lash. Becky realistically stepped up, came into the match cocky as ever. Big time Becky Lynch. Then proceeded to suffer a hard loss to Lash, who brought the power, showcased some athleticism, and really shut her down with her vicious side. As we're already starting to see said side, a dirty, cheap shot out of that collar and elbow tie-up that forced Io into the corner. And this is something we have to kind of note. Power is always going to be Lash's game in this situation. Waistlock applied, but Io reverses it, takes her own waistlock positioning here on Lash. There again, power in favor of Legend. Just an arm takedown. Forces Io's head into the mat, and then side control for Legend. That now being changed. Here is Io. Headlock over on Lash. This is certainly a worse position for Legend, but that is a beneficial one. Flattens Io and drops an elbow. Now, what I was trying to get at is Legend, obviously, a lot more power, but size also an advantage. Io, one of the smaller competitors here in IPW, And looking at Breakdown as a whole, Liv Morgan, a similar stature to Io. This is certainly a good tester for Legend, if she is to make it into that title picture. Schoolgirl pin here. Almost put Io in a dire situation, but Io gets out of it and quickly back on the attack. Stomp to the chest, but now clubbing blows from Lash, going to set up a pin. A lot of early pinfall attempts here by both ladies. And that was almost the best pin attempt so far, as a near 2 count came through from Legend. Lash, we know, capable of some high explosive offense as a scoop slam comes through, and again another pinfall. This is the targeted game. Wear down Io. Slow her down realistically. Sky, obviously quick, nimble like a cat, can really step up in dire situations with some high, big shots like that knee there. It's like an Ariva Dirtsky knee, but not from Julia. But this is a choke slam. Reversed out of here by Sky, putting Lash in the corner, a place you do not want to be. Io charging in. It's the dropkick. Lash put down to the bottom turnbuckle. And now she's in the drop zone. Io not going to look to fly just yet. Instead, snap German. Puts Lash down. Legend out. Back to her feet. Io needs to realistically control this match. She's not had the best opportunities, as Legend has really brought it to Sky. This is certainly a promising sight to see here in IPW. Legend now attacking the arm and looking to fly herself. This isn't typical Legend. Io's in the drop zone. Pull to her feet here. Legend looking to go big with a lariat. A Kane-esque shot. Io realizes the danger, gets back up quick. Hits that rolling drop kick. And now up top she goes. And the Genius of Sky set to fly with the over the moonsault. Into the pin she goes. Lash down. Is this it? The answer's no. A 2 count, the near fall, the best shot of the match. A big one at that from Io. Not going to cement the victory just yet. Lash still has a lot of fight in her. With this, punts a backbreaker into Io. The spine in trouble. And Sky being stomped out. Precursor to a big shot as Lash, air, raid, crash, inbound, plants Io down into the mat. And Sky could be on the receiving end of some more punishment. A roll up here. Lash getting cheeky with it. Trying to steal it. Almost does. Hits the 2 count here over Io. Io back up and back on the attack though. This is something we've seen a lot in this match, is Io's ability to get back on the attack. But Lash, she's wise to it. It's maybe one too many times as a running power slam puts Io down. And she's in the drop zone. Lash, again, looking to call her shot. Drops the axe. Runs the ropes. Balling with the splash. Sky, this time caught. Legend is bringing it. Picks her up. And again, another running power slam puts her down. Io not having a good run at it now. Legend is bringing it to her. Onto the shoulders. Fireman's carry fought out of. Fireman's carry escaped there. And then a big pump kick. Out from Legend, planting Io into the mat. A 2 count. and visible anger, frustration setting in. Legend, she's closing in on victory. Chokeslam locked up. Io out of it again. And now, Io locks in her own submission. Koji clutch applied. Will she get the tap? The answer is yes. But Lash Legend, moments away from getting the job done against Io Sky. So close, but so far as well. But this was a good showing for Lash. This was impressive from her as well. Io, though, a cut above. And that puts Liv Morgan slightly on notice that Io is coming back for the title. But 2 more weeks remain before we go down the rabbit hole. Until that moment, anyone and anything can change here in IPW. Legend close, but no cigar as the tap out was forced, and Sky is victorious. Formidable performance by Io, but it was a scare at points. She got the job done tonight, but can she do any more damage to this division? Or what will happen with Lash, we will see in the following weeks. Well, from the singles women's division to the tag team division, it's 2 up-and-coming teams here in IPW set to compete. And let's be honest, they're going to be coming for the gold. And are coming for you.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 505 pounds, the team of Carl Anderson and Lou Gallows.
The OC, Gallows and Anderson, are here to compete for a spot, a potential shot at the gold. Breakdown's last shot was New Day, which ended horribly against the champs. Could one of these 2 prospective teams set themselves in line for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships? To get there, it's going to require some grit and skill.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 515 pounds, Brutus and Julius, the Creed Brothers.
You think power, you think experience, and that goes to the OC. You think technical wrestling prowess, pure athleticism, you think American made. Both teams, a set of brothers. Who can win this one? It's going to come down to determination, I feel. Anderson and Brutus starting it off for their respective teams. Anderson takes advantage, and now it's Gallows in for the OC to start this off. The first real shot comes out from Gallows in this one. There's the big LG delivering some hefty shots here to start this one off. Anderson getting involved in that little tete-a-tete as well, as Brutus sends Gallows to the apron. But Gallows gets the better of the situation, and this is the experience the OC have. Solid ring knowledge, understanding of how to appear, how to control a ring, and realistically control a matchup. The ability to predict, to strike, to know how to feel in the ring to defeat an opponent. You need to counterplan and avoid the big shots that are utilized. Gallows and Anderson, you look at their accolades, their history. Several times WWE Tag Team Champions, former NXT Tag Team Champions, IWGP Tag Team Champions, ROH Tag Champs, I believe, TNA Tag Champs, and I believe the only championship I think they didn't get a stint with was the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The OGs, Gallows and Anderson, have been and seen it all, really, in the wrestling business, as they've busted Brutus open. Now going to continue to apply the punishment as Anderson takes to the ring. Surprisingly, one of the oldest in this ring, probably the one with the most speed and agility in their style. As now Julius enters the picture, the taller of the two creeds. He brings that size advantage into how he wrestles, and it is impressive to witness as now Brutus Legal again. Mat Slam puts him down, a knee, followed with by a second. And they're just taking turns, drilling Anderson in his ribcage. Pinfall attempt here as Brutus goes for the win. Isn't able to get that as, well, Gallows delivers a rough shot there to Brutus. Brutus busted open. Middle of the forehead, it seems. Surprised that there isn't that much blood trickling down his nose just yet, but certainly has left a lasting effect, that top turnbuckle that caused the damage. As we focus back in, Julius tags in his brother yet again. A toss in. Nice takedown there. Into a senton. Cannonball style one is. That blood is starting to trickle a little further. We've got a quick close up there on Brutus's face. But as we're witnessing this, Anderson's been on the receiving end of some heavy shots as now Julius' turn to go for that mat takedown. Scores big with that as well. Tries to follow up with a flipping senton. Cannot connect. Anderson trying to follow up, but caught. As Gallows now trying to get the tag. Julius pulls the straps down, gets the pinfall attempt, and this is surprisingly been American-made controlled. Anderson in a stare down as Julius tries to grab him, can't do so. Anderson sends him into the corner, and the big LG really not allowing anyone to sit in that corner. No tandem offense out from the OC just yet. Instead, it's just a tag, and now Luke Gallows and Anderson both trying to get that cheap shot in. Gallows sending Julius into American-made territory. But that's a big belly-to-belly. Julius puts him down. Gallows turns to Brutus, takes him down, tries to get a high roundhouse onto Julius, but Julius evades and sends Gallows into the ring post. And this is surprising offense out from Julius. You think he is quite tall, very lanky, and the fact he's able to get a standing 450 off certainly is impressive for him. Gallows up at a count of 6, returned to the ring by Brutus. Julius now going to capitalize. Tries to pick the ankle, but the big LG not going to allow it. Just tosses him to one side. Gallows, ripcord, Rainmaker. Plants Julius, goes for the tag, realizes the danger, and escapes custody, really. Brutus and Anderson now return to the battle. A matchup that started this affair might not end it. Gallows is in. Anderson sends Brutus into a boot. And now it's Gallows' turn to eat a cheap shot. He's not going to let it sway him. Now sends Brutus running. The OC have control of this match, and I think they're going to get some more. Set him up for a bit of a magic killer. Plants him. Center of the ring. A count comes in. Julius nowhere to be seen, but Brutus gets out of it with a kick out. Anderson gives him a slip. And that gives Brutus a chance to escape, but Julius was headfirst into Gallows, who may have been thinking magic killer. Gonna have to change the attack because that is not gonna work. The quick shots. This though might. Some clubbing blows delivered. Followed suit with a headbutt, and Gallows goes for the pin. Julius is down, but really hasn't taken too much punishment. It has been Brutus on the receiving end of most of the OC's shots. And now Julius takes some. Gallows, though, you have to realize he is a big unit. He will tire quickly. Julius and Brutus, certainly more athletic, certainly more endurable. And they're going to have to do some work here as Gallows is put up top, ready for the cannonball. Shot out off that top turnbuckle. Brutus collides into Gallows and almost secures the victory. Anderson stops that from being the ender of the match. And now, a splash lariat combination from American Made. Gallows is on the ropes and he's being tossed and turned around this ring with such ease. Tag out, Brutus back in. And he is fired up. Gallows is down. Sent back to American-made territory. There's the tag. And now, it's the other Creed brother. Lines it up and collides into Gallows. Pinfall attempt. The big LG down and out. No. I stand corrected. Gallows escapes at 2. Julius is not done yet. He tags his brother back in. And again, Matt takedown. And here come the knees. Shot for shot landing. But Brutus has been caught. A shoulder tackle from Gallows. Big LG starting to roll, but them knees gonna stop that locomotive train from going choo-choo through Brutus here. Shots being exchanged. Neither men wanting to give up. They know probably one more shot will seal the deal on either of these two men. That's a big lariat from Gallows. Drills Brutus on the outside, and the only way this match could end in disappointment, a count out, would be that. We reach a count of 6 here on the outside. Gallows delivering some big shots is going to send Brutus back in, and we are going to break the count. Thankfully, before the 8 comes in, but this is a camel clutch applied. A modified camel clutch at that. Gallows going to reverse the whip as well. Brutus is just put there, left to his own devices, because Gallows wisely makes the tag. In comes the machine gun. A man who is, or had time to recover on the apron, and gets to go in, do his little rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tats, and go for the win. But he is caught. Nice suplex there from Creed. Shots coming in. Matt takedown. This is a setup. Them knees going to come in this time onto Anderson. Damage them ribs as much as possible, really. Beautiful belly-to-belly suplex. And again, Anderson, the wily veteran, knows he just needs to get out of there. Avoid any high-octane offense from the top rope. Stops it from happening. Julius, though, does manage to catch Gallows on his entry. And now has him hooked up. Delivers the fuckbuster. I believe that's Gallows' own maneuver used against him. Julius getting a bit dirty. Hits the referee as well. That is not welcome, but that super kick certainly is. And Gallows delivering some big shots. Takes Julius up. Puts him down with a TKO. Pinfall attempt. Brutus breaks it up. But now, the fuckbuster connects. Gallows stacks him up. Gets no. Almost gets the win. Wise decision here by Gallows. Realizes he's exerting all his big shots. Tries to go for the tag, but now caught in a roll-up. Julius steals it. They might be wily veterans, the OC, but new blood strategy prevails. Catching the slow old-timer with a roll-up to get the W. Poetic. And while it was on a closing sequence that the OC controlled, they had this matchup in the bag. It wasn't until one failed attempt at a tag team maneuver gave Julius the opportunity to escape danger. And bear in mind, Julius had just taken a fuckbuster, as well as that big super kick. The big LG hit the big shots, but desperation mode set in for Creed, and he desperately got the win, let's be honest. With it, American Made nets a big victory here over the OC. This might put them in ranking contention for the tag titles. We'll have to see. Obviously, Solo Sikoa has to submit his best team towards that title shot. Because right now, Usos they're in a bit in limbo as to who is their next challenger.
Here are your winners, Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers.
As they have taken out the best of Primetime and Breakdown. And they keep that momentum up and defeat maybe American Made? We will see what the future holds. Well, it's time to escape tag team action and focus back in on the women's top division here on Breakdown as the Queen hits the waltz to the ring.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from the Queen City, Charlotte Flair.
No need to bow down just yet. And no need to acknowledge the pyro. Flair, top performer. No acknowledgement needed, let's be honest. Into the ring and showing why she is the Queen. Pure athleticism, pure skill. An all-rounder of the game. But she now has to face an Empress who's looking to take her skull. It is good to see Asuka again.
Presenting Damage Control from Osaka, Japan, Asuka!
She has been out of the title hunt for some time. Tonight, the Empress of Tomorrow, he gets to go, potentially, towards championships here in IPW. A welcome change for her. But is it one that will be fruitful? They say no one is ready for Asuka. Is Charlotte Flair, is the Queen capable of stepping up to her? We're about to find out. Her close compatriot Io Sky earned victory earlier in the show. Some may argue against an easier opponent, but let's be honest. I've got a feeling Solo Sikoa is starting to form maybe a mini tournament here in IPW. He's put Lash up against both big time Becks and now Io Sky. And with Io's netting the victory, I've got a feeling we might see the winner of this match facing Io next week. Maybe another winner of another Eliminator match. Who knows? But this Probably the most high-profile women's match that we could see tonight on a breakdown without a mention of the champion. There are a few other ladies that I'd say could also fit that moniker of being high-profile. They probably will be in action next week, as that's a beautiful spinning heel kick. That signature maneuver of Lyra Valkyria, simply pulled out of nowhere here for Asuka. Flair, signature knee. We're calling all the classics. Asuka wise evades Flair's attempts to attack the legs. Smart. As we know, Charlotte wants to lock in the figure eight, and if that is being mitigated, certainly effective offense from Asuka. Or defense, I should say. Offense is when she goes and just pummels you and destroys your base as well. Some leg kicks coming out from the Empress of Tomorrow. Now going to take the back, trying to maybe go German, can't get it. Instead, now Flair. Fireman's carry has Asuka up, and she's going to get gun stunned. And realistically speaking, both of these ladies, former challengers to the Undisputed Women's World Championship here in IPW, both on a receiving end of a loss. And I believe they were in the same month as well. Flair losing at a live event. Asuka, in the build-up to said live event, took a L to the champion in time. Now on a new brand, a new feeling. Looking to maybe lay stakes to the top spots here. Obviously, Solo Sikoa only just recently taking up the GM mantle. In fact, over a month now of being in control. And let's be honest, since taking over, he has put on some big matches as Natural Selection connect here for Flair. Goes for the victory. Is this enough? Asuka kicking out in time. Breaks the count at 2, but Flair, woo! Locks it in. Figure 4 applied. Not going to bridge. Now is doing so. Up into the figure 8. Asuka fights out of it. Realizing danger. And legs are in a bit of a dire situation. Flair now, with them weakened, can go for attacks on other aspects of the body. With the vertical base of Asuka in trouble. But Asuka going to use them legs to some effect to get that pinfall put in play. Not able to net the victory, realizing that she can't keep the strong, powerful thighs that Flair possesses trapped down to the mat. Charlotte, double knees to the chest. Causing some havoc here to Asuka, and Asuka's been on the receiving end of a lot of punishment in this match. It has been mostly Charlotte controlling the tempo, showing why she is considered one of the greatest of all times. As there's a deep 6, drilling Asuka into the outside flooring. Asuka gonna send Flair running. Obviously, Flair broke the count to come chase down Asuka here on the outside, but that count is starting to rise yet again. We reach 5. Make it a 6 as Flair taking Asuka. Not going to be able to toss her into the ring. Instead, it's Asuka fighting out the grasp of Charlotte. Count of 7, and well, both ladies realize the danger. Both want to finish it in the ring. And a count of 7. Both respectfully return into the squared circle. Charlotte maybe gonna disrespect it though, as she puts Asuka back on the outside. And clearly, these ladies aren't done with brawling out here right in front of our fans. As Asuka still on the receiving end of some Flair offense. And this is going to be natural selection. Out on the flooring. Flair, you got to be kidding me. Figure 4 on the outside. Bridging up into the figure 8. Asuka in trouble. Flair relinquishes the hold. Surprisingly, our referee did not continue counting there. Should have realistically kept the count going. Flair not going to be able to cause a count-out victory for herself. Instead, a big boot on the inside. Shots landing for a 2. A lot of damage has been done so far to Asuka's lower half of the body. Flair rolls out, hits, no, misses. Trying to go over the top of Asuka. Can't get it. Instead, hooks her up. Fall away, slam. No kick up. No signature offense, but this is signature. Signature Flair. Figure 4, leg lock locked in. Bridging up. Figure 8 for the 3rd time in play. Asuka not going to tap. And she's going to be on the receiving end of some punishment. Flair into the pin. Gets the 2. This is looking similar to our opener. Domination from one lady. Leading to subliminal control. But one slip up causes the other to win. Asuka probably biding her time to lock in the Asuka lock. Hasn't gone for it yet. And Flair has been on the full offensive. Asuka, we know, is dangerous in any situation. She now has Flair on the ropes. There's a kick to the gut, setting her up for the big hip attack. Flair takes it pretty heavily, and now, no, not going to go for a ride. No belly to belly. Instead, it's Flair hitting the backbreaker, causing havoc to Asuka, and now going back into the figure 4. Them legs in tatters already, and they're going to be worse for wears now. Figure 8 locked in. Still no tap. Still Asuka biting on. Flair, though, gonna end it here. Natural selection. And back into the hold. Signature Flair dominance as she bridges back up into it. And once again relinquishing that hold. She's doing damage, but she isn't keeping Asuka trapped in it. Isn't forcing the Empress to tap out. And that is maybe misguided offense. Maybe a massive mistake, but Flair goes for the pin now. Gets the win. And all that worrying is for naught, as Charlotte was ready for Asuka. But is she ready? I guess for Io. That is something that will be tested maybe next week. I'm kind of doing the booking right now for our general manager. Let's be honest, it was a solid performance from Flair. From start to finish. He just maintained control of this ring. And Asuka just did not get a chance to shine. One flurry of offense, and even then, she couldn't even get the Asuka lock placed in on Flair. And that is maybe misfortunes hitting Asuka. But let's be honest, She was given plenty of opportunities to go for it. More than anything, because Flair could not get the job done with the figure 8. And if that's going to be the case for that submission, it is certainly not going to be impactful when she goes up against Liv Morgan. If she goes up against Liv Morgan, I should say.
Here is your winner, Charlotte Flair.
Again, speculation being drawn for this victory here by Flair. But a dub's a dub, and the challenges will keep on racking up. Well, it looks like we've got tag team action on our hand as the Unholy Union are stood in the ring as Nikki and Brie Bella coming out, but they're not coming out alone. Green and Niven attacking them before the match begins. Big shots landing and they toss them. They toss the Bellas into the ring. Obviously, these two teams, or Green and Niven, faced off against the Bellas last week. Clearly, they're not over losing that matchup. But, well, we'll see how this goes as we get underway. Women's tag team action on the docket here. The Bellas, as we say, victorious last week in the co-main event. That tornado tag match against Niven and Green. Let's be honest, Niven and Green did certainly put on one hell of a showing. And it was surprising how it ended. But now, tonight, it is down to, well, it's down to the Unholy Union to maybe stop the rock that is the Bella Twins here in the women's tag division. Now, as we've seen for many weeks, we've seen that the fact that, well, Fatal Influence have held the belts. They've put their championships recently on the line, in fact. Defending it last week against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. A unit that right now is in a weird situation is Tatum and Gigi, but I have a feeling some of that stuff will get resolved over the coming weeks. But the champs probably going to have close eyes on the Bella Twins. As well, Nikki and Brie, both Hall of Famers, both legends of the ring. Both former Divas champions. As big shot there. The knees out of the torture rack, connecting. Isla doesn't break the pin up, instead targets Brie. Nikki almost gets the victory there. Gonna attack Alba Fire here on the outside. I believe Isla and Brie still brawling. In fact, we're going to see it here. Air raid crash out from Isla. There's Alba rolls through. Big kick to the chest here of Nikki Bella. Now hooks Bella up. Plants her with a gory bomb. Saw quite a few of them on a Tuesday night. So that's a count of 8 reached. Nikki slowly getting to her feet at a count of 9. Gets back in before the 10. That was almost it. But Fire drilling Nikki into the mat. That's a big shot landing. Heading up top. Is she thinking Swanton? The answer's yes. Connects with it into the pin quickly. Trying to get that W, but It is stifled by Brie. We're seeing precision here by Alba. And Isla is, well, Nikki forced to tag out. She brings in her sister. And we've seen tonight quite a lot of brothers and sisters as that's cattle mutilation locked in. My word. Brie channeling her husband there. Bryan Danielson finishing maneuver. Not something you typically see in a WWE ring, let alone an IPW one. It's been a while since we've seen Bryan Danielson here. Maybe if Brie picks up victories utilizing that, we may see him return. As of right now, the focus is on the Bella Twins picking up dubs. Certainly you've done some good performances. Undefeated here in IPW. And it's the hard-hitting style of Nikki, plus the speed and technicality of Brie that makes them such a well-rounded unit. Certainly a lot of power out from Nikki's offense as well. Brie, though, back into the ring. Nice Samoan drop there. Channeling her bloodline history there for that one. Tries to get a tag in for Nikki. Cannot get it instead. Forced to succumb to some fire offense. And yeah, we kind of look at how this matchup started. The cheap shot from Piper and Green. You've got to feel that with the history, or with the knowledge that of Alba Fire working alongside Niven and Green, perhaps it was a calculated opportunity there by them as Alba climbs up top, not going to be able to get in before Nikki gets tagged in, but is able to hit the missile dropkick. Smart decision making, and certainly a fast and effective decision there by Alba. Keep control of this matchup, and well, she's got Nikki hooked up. There's the gory bomb. Plants her down. Pinfall attempt here. Brie breaks it up. Fire. Brings in the desire of the unholy union is Isla. On the attack. Caught though. This is Nikki's chance to shine. We say power's in her game. And some big shots landing. Double underhook. Tosses her across the ring. Brie enters the picture. Tries to grab Isla. Can't do so. Instead, it's Dawn firing, but now caught. Irish whip reversed. Isla now trying to attack. Can't get it. Instead, put in the corner. Now to tag the Bellas, bringing the tandem offense. Brie ascends as Nikki torture rack. Dropping the knee is Brie. Pinfall attempt. 1. And Alba breaks it up. Big offense there from the Bella Twins. But Isla and Alba have been on the offensive. There's a big DDT. They've hit the better shots in just standard wrestling as Alba ascends. Swanton bombing. Nikki Bella goes for the cover. Brie breaks it up. Again, the job so hard to finish. There's a takedown by Nikki. And that gives her space to make the tag. Brie's in. Alba has put in some big shots, but now she's in a difficult situation. Snapmare, kick to the back, and Nikki legal. Dissecting the knee of fire. Certainly not beneficial to Nikki's game. Obviously a bit more maybe suited for Brie, but there's the Bella Buster putting fire down. Isla's quickly in to stop the victory. But Alba eats that big shot, and I've got a feeling she's going to eat another. Nikki lining her up. Torture rack applied. And there's the torture bomb. The rack attack 2.0. Or the 1.0. And it gets, no, not the victory. Yoji rack attack. Is Nikki. Tag. And in comes her sister Brie. He's the one this time setting up the torture rack. Nikki drops the knee. Pinfall attempt. Alba going to be down. Is she out for the count? The answer's yet no. I was signing on the dotted line before I even knew what I was buying. Because I thought there Alba was out of it. She proves me wrong. For just a little longer. Bella's tag. Isla tags. Fresh stars into the ring. And Nikki hooks Isla up. Powerbomb position. Drills her down and stacks her up. Pinfall attempt. Only a 1 count off of it. Isla is very fresh. Of the stars in this bout, I'd say she's absorbed the least amount of punishment. Brie probably the same or similar amounts of in terms of taken damage. Isla now going to be on the receiving end of some from the Bellas. Snap vertical suplex from Brie. Isla reverses the position. Takes control. The Unholy Union haven't really landed a big shot in some time. Brie tags out. I thought for a second she was going to go running in like her husband and hit them drop kicks. The answer's no to that. Instead, it's going to be Isla. Cloth connecting. Nikki drilled into the mat. But Nikki not going to be down for long. It is Brie breaking it up. Isla sends Nikki running. She hits the cloth, and that's potentially a setup for an ending. Alba and Isla stalking their prey as Alba. Gory position. Isla. Also there. As there's an unholy connection. Planting Nikki down for the count. And no, not getting it just yet. That certainly felt like it was it. Alba and Isla have landed some hefty offense. Alba especially from the top. Sends maybe a final time to drop the axe. He brings Isla in. And now Nikki catches her. She needs to escape this situation, but she's going to be sent running. The boot connects. Nikki tag out. Escape it, but won't do so instead. Takes down Dawn. Dawn fires back with an uppercut. Lines dodged by Nikki. And again, the takedown. Forcing Isla into a difficult position. As the boots just connecting disrespectfully from Nikki. She's going to take the arm and the palm of the hand. Not going to go for the sacrifice. Instead, it's just knees to the back. Goes for the pin here. Isla going to be down for only a 1. Remember, we said she was fresh. She's taken a little bit of punishment since that moment. But Nikki, she feels like we're closing in on the dub. Gonna launch Bree in. Shoulder block connects. Bree has some big offense of her own. Like this. The yes kicks coming through. And the head's taken off of Dawn. Pinfall attempt here. Alba is in. She breaks it up. Realizes the danger of the situation. And Bree, well, there's a Bella Buster. Goes for the cover. And again, it's a kick out in time. And we said Isla was fresh, as I've mentioned already. That freshness is going. This now changes the ties. Roll up here. Bree in trouble. Only for a moment. As she escapes jail. Escapes the custody of that pin. But she eats a knee to the face. And Isla gonna tag out. Escape this hellhole for only a moment. Crucifix bomb by Bree. Drives her into the mat, and there's some more punishment. Dawn, forced to watch on as Fire takes some shots here from the Hall of Famer. Bree continuing to shoot, hits the dropkick. Caught by Dawn. This is smart offense from the Unholy Union. Fire. Now seizing the opportunity. Taking it to Bree. Tags out. Dawn in. Goes for the pin. He's going to utilize the ropes here right in front of the referee who spots it. Bree feels disrespected. Going to go on the attack. Punishing Dawn. Catching her. Realistically, Bree is very quick, nimble. And she is going to make Isla pay. Into the torture rack from Nikki. Knee drop to the face. Pinfall attempt. Nikki going for the dub. 1. Isla is bailed out by Fire. But Nikki, you got a feeling she's going to go for the ending. The kill shot. Rack attack. Down for the pin. Alba forced to watch as Isla is knocked out. And the Bella Twins continue to ride the wave of momentum. Even after the cheap shot to start the match. Certainly unfinished business from that side of things, but now the Bellas earn a victory over a difficult opponent. From a, I'd say, losing position. And now they just showcase their skills. They run through the Unholy Union. Through very solid display of their cohesiveness as sisters. As well as their strengths as single stars. Bree landing these yes kicks. Certainly put Isla on notice. That was probably the first big shot that connected onto Dawn. And then the Bella Buster to follow it. Alba was able to bail out Dawn on a couple of occasions. But in the end, that rack attack sealed the deal. The Bellas are victorious here tonight.
Here are your winners, Nick E. Bell R. and Britt Bell R. Pretty Mean Sisters.
I won't call them pretty mean sisters, Mike Rome. They're pretty goddamn good. And well, they netted a victory here as we move towards our co-main event. Well, after a very long matchup, hopefully the pace is about to quicken.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 251 pounds, Adam Coleman.
As Cope is in the house. The Rated R superstar set to compete. As the fire burns around him. He gets to go to work here. Yet again. The top of the IPW breakdown divisions. They're set to be potentially overturned from what they were at Resolve. So we've got two stars who are climbing the rankings, doing battle here tonight. It's a great Kali.
And his opponent from Punjab, India, weighing in at 347 pounds, the Great Khali.
Looking to do some damage. Let's be honest. Kali is a very potent opponent. Bring destruction at a moment's notice, and has done so in his recent performances, squishing the heads of several opponents. Tonight he looks to put another scalp on his record. Something that has been squashed like a balloon or a watermelon. But it's the Rated R superstar, the next victim. Or is he going to be the ultimate opportunist and take a W against the Great Khali? The referee indicates it's match time, and let's get going as the giant, the colossus that is the Great Khali, absorbs that lariat start from Copeland. And now, the Khali goes on the offensive. Edge or Cope gonna fight back, but only for a brief second. Because now it's Khali stomping into Cope. He now drops. No, misses the leg drop. Cope gonna do Cope things. As we look in towards, well, this matchup, and we talk about the Emerald Division here in Breakdown. These two really wanting to get a piece of the champion. And could you imagine the Great Khali one-on-one with Will Ospreay? We've seen what big giants can do in IPW. Khali, gets sent for a ride there. Big maneuver by Copeland. But you think it isn't light rabbit shots that do the damage to the likes of Kali, Nia Jax. It is very much the hard-hitting, heavy shots that ground the Giant, that basically get the job done. Not many people in IPW can say they have done that. And with Nia Jax obviously controlling the Sapphire division here on Breakdown, if Kali gets up into the Emerald's top spot, we could be seeing a similar sort of control if he captures the championship. As of right now, though, he isn't there just yet. Still has a little bit of time or things to prove as he now goes up against probably his most difficult opponent in Adam Copeland. Now, it's hard to look past Kali's debut here in IPW, a losing effort on draft night. Losing to Abyss. A man who we've seen only recently on Primetime, earning a big victory against Kenny Omega, of all people. As right now, Kali may be looking to perform similar sort of accomplishment by beating a former world champion in a arguably underdog position, going up against a legend, a main eventer in Copeland. But this count starting to get elevated towards that 10 position as Copeland drills Kali into the floor on the outside. A 7 is called. That's a kill switch from Copeland. There's the 9. Copeland back in the ring. And he gets the W, I believe. Gets back in time, and that is certainly shocking, to say the least. That kill switch, it's the kill shot.
Here is your winner, Adam Coleman.
And while it's not a spear and a 1-2-3, I'd say this is the best way to deal with a giant like Kali. Regardless, Copeland picks up the win, the ultimate opportunist. Smart with his victory. And let's hope smart offense comes into the main event. That's on screens now. Well, it's main event time as stated. And the champ is in the house for this one.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from England, weighing in at 220 pounds, the prestigious World Champion, Will Oxley.
It's certainly interesting. The world champion having Kevin Nash's Titantron. Man holding that resolution case. Perhaps this is Ospreay baiting a potential challenger. Who knows? Because Ospreay, we know he's cocky, conniving, and a smart wrestler. As the leader of the Bruvs. Set to compete here in non-title action. But his opponent wishes The belt was on the line. Wishes he could be getting a shot at a second top belt. The second ever undisputed IPW World Heavyweight Champion is in the building, and it's time to burn it down.
And his opponent from Davenport, Iowa, weighing in at 217 pounds, Seth freaking Rollins.
Like him or not, Rollins is a visionary, a revolutionary. He elevates every matchup, and going up against a champion, it's going to be interesting because we have yet to see Rollins in a difficult situation here on Breakdown. Is this his moment? Is this his chance to go towards glory? A question that will be answered in due course. As a crowd serenades us into the beginning of our main event. The two champs, the former champ and current champ, tie up to start this off. Ospreay out the corner with a dirty shot, comes through, misses with the high elevated offense. Rollins capitalizing on the mistake. The champ needs to be cautious. He needs to be accurate. Against Rollins, this is a test for him. There's a revolution knee from Rollins to kick this one off already. As the second tie-up begins. Ospreay takes the waist control and takes advantage of the situation. Mat takedown connects, and Ospreay puts Rollins down, goes for the pin. I would have thought you may have gone for a bit more of a wear down on Rollins. Is going to hit the standing moonsault, but does not hit the springboard one. And now Rollins going to make him pay. Crossface applied. Forced out of it. And Ospreay ties up for the third time. Rollins pushing the champ into the corner. And again, Ospreay, no clean break. He's keeping the pressure on, even in a losing situation. And that's why he is champion here in IPW. Always staying on the offensive, even in a losing situation. Delivers the lariat. And Rollins is forced to roll out. Ospreay now on the receiving end, some big boots to the face. Rollins goes for the pin. Gets only a 1. The champ has survived some big moves. Like that was beautiful. Standing. Just twisting Spanish fly. There's now Rollins. Puts Ospreay on the outside. And the Visionary's looking to fly. Hits the drop kick to the outside. I thought maybe it was suicide dive time, but no. Rollins disappointing with that offense. Instead, just keeping the pressure on Ospreay. Weaken the head. Soften it up for this. This was not what I thought it was going to be, but soften that head up for the stomp. There's also a pedigree in Rollins' wheelhouse. The former world heavyweight champ hits the crossbody. Avoids a super kick. Now it's Ospreay's turn. Keeps the pressure on. Hurricane Rana. Now he's fired up. Rollins in trouble. Ospreay knows how to strike at the opportune moment. He's caught a slip there from Rollins against a former foe. Rollins catches the boot that could have been a setup. Big suplex there. As that exploder does some damage. And now it allows Ospreay to land a full combo. The champ has not slowed down in this matchup. A similar story from Rollins. As both men giving it their all. And the champ in trouble though. Pinfall attempt from Seth. Nets a 2 in our main event. And the champion, you have to feel, needs to look to close this out. Visionary is starting to get into a top position as he heads and connects with that rolling senton off the top rope. Rollins caught. Ospreay hitting that hidden blade. The skull of Rollins in jeopardy. As its head could have been decapitated there. Ospreay almost sealing the deal. Instead, has to go for nominal forearm. Has to go for something else. He rolls back in, caught by Rollins. Sent for a run. Sling blade from Seth. There's that gut kick. Off the ropes. Curb stomp. Lights out. For the champion. Only for a brief second. That's enough time to recover, enough time to kick out. Rollins' chops evaded. And the champion. I've got a feeling it's going to set up for some cheeky Nando's. Pinfall off of that. Only gets the 2. Standing spiral tap. And Ospreay, he's calling his shot here. The champion. Snap suplex. Heads to the top. Shooting star press to the outside. By my pure adulation there to that. That was impressive. What's more, this is even more. Styles Clash. The champion might have put Rollins out. Isn't going to wait to see. Going to keep the pressure on the outside. Rollins may have been baiting him though. Sent back in the ring. The action be closing in on an ending. Storm breaker from Rollins, of all people, puts the champ down for a 2. Seth stealing his opponent's finisher is kind of shocking. But Ospreay, he's wise to his opponent's antics. Still in this matchup. Champion not slowing down, not giving Rollins another chance to land a big maneuver. Gut Buster sets up for the 2. Rollins again going to be forced to kick out of this situation. More energy exerted. Moonsault off the springboard from the champ. And the champ climbs to the second rope. Pops up to the top to hit the crossbody. Rollins is struggling as the champion caught. Roll-up attempt. Has the visionary, the architect, stolen it? The answer's no. This is that setup that we expect. Popped up over with that DDT. Ospreay, he's throwing the X up. He's got a feeling this is over. And when that hidden blade is hitting, it hits for a home run. 1, 2. No. It felt like it was over. It certainly seemed it, but Rollins still has fight in him. Puts the champ in the corner. Applying pressure to that arm. Again. Wrenching on that left arm. And Rollins charging in. Nice drop kick to the corner. Remember, Rollins was the second ever IPW World Heavyweight Champion. And that's why hitting the stomp on the current Emerald Champ. Pinfall attempt. Is it enough? No. Ospreay kicks out. Rollins hits the springboard moonsault this time. Now he's beckoning the champion up. What's he thinking here? He sends him running. Misses with a lariat, and now Ospreay has the chance to shoot. Can't get it. Instead, put down. Rollins caught, charging in. Ospreay goes down low. The champion's smart to change levels. Sends Rollins running. Hits that beautiful drop kick of his. Now he's going to send him running again. This time pops him up. Hits a kind of a splash to the back of Rollins. More of a crossbody than anything. Now the champion lining Rollins up. Takes him up. Styles clash. Connects and busts open Seth. Both men bleeding for their efforts, but only one can earn the W. And that's a gun being pulled to the back of Rollins' head as a hidden blade takes it clean off. Down for the count. Rollins is done. And the champion is victorious in this one. Belt given back to him in that non-title affair. He's still victorious as, oh my word. There's a face from his past. Looking to maybe be his future. I think this is Ospreay's saying, if you want some, I'll give it to you. Will we have a date with destiny between Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr.? We shall see next week. Because that is that for tonight's episode of Breakdown. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new and if you want to, and I will see you this weekend for IPW Underground. Peace out.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win at life, I never miss, that's fact, taking